Hello, YouTube fam. Get ready for an amazing video experience. Hello, dear viewers. Get ready to expand your horizons as we delve into Manor of Shirwell. The Manor of Shirwell was a manor in North Devon, England, centred on the village of Shirwell and largely co-terminous with the parish of Shirwell. It was for many centuries successively the seat of two of the leading families of North Devon, the Beaumonts and their heirs the Chichesters of Raleigh, Pilton, both of which families were seated at the estate of Youlston within the Manor of Shirwell. The manor house, which survives today known as Youlston Park, is one of the most architecturally important historic houses in North Devon and exists largely in its Georgian form, but retains many impressive late 17th interiors. Prepare yourself for an in-depth analysis of them all in this section. In the Domesday Book of 1086, it was one of the 176 landholdings in Devon held in chief by Baldwin de Maules, Sheriff of Devon, who held the largest fiefdom in Devon and was the first feudal baron of Oakhampton. Baldwin de Maules' tenant at Shirwell, as listed in Domesday Book, was Robert de Beaumont. The Courtenay family, later Earls of Devon, were from 1219 the successors to the feudal barony of Oakhampton and thus continued as overlords of Shirwell into the 13th century, as recorded in the Book of Fees and beyond. As we enter this new phase, let's navigate the complexities of Beaumont of Beaumont-le-Roger, Normandy, and discover its practical applications. In the Domesday Book of 1086, Shirwell was one of at least 4 manors held in Devon, but merely as a mess lord from Baldwin de Maules, by the Norman magnate Robert de Beaumont, 1st Earl of Leicester, Count of Morland c. 1118, to whom had been granted by William the Conqueror about 91 English manors in several counties for his service in the Norman conquest of England. These 4 manors tenanted by Robert are listed consecutively within the section in Domesday Book listing Baldwin's holdings, as Shirwell, Ashford, and 2 manors called Loxhaw, thought to correspond to today's adjacent settlements of Higher Loxhaw and Lower Loxhaw. Robert is listed as the tenant of Shirwell simply as Robert, but his next 3 holdings are listed in the Exon Domesday with Robert's appellation de Bello-Monte added, the Latinized form of de Beaumont, in the form Robert de Beaumont also holds. This leaves no doubt that Shirwell too refers to Roger de Beaumont. There exist many other Devon manors held by persons called Robert, but none can be identified with certainty to Robert de Beaumont. These 4 manors stayed for many generations within a line of the Beaumont family, seated at Youlston within the parish of Shirwell. Surviving records do not allow a definite familial link to be made between the Norman Beaumonts and the Beaumonts of Shirwell, but the Beaumont family historian Edward Beaumont, in his 1929 work The Beaumonts in History, Anno Domini, hazarded a guess that the Devon family descended from Robert's 3rd son Hugh de Beaumont, 1st Earl of Bedford, born 1106. In this part of the video, we'll be diving deep into de Beaulieu and unraveling its profound impact. A confusion arises as to the early tenure of Shirwell, as another manor named Shirwell is listed in Domesday Book as held in domain by William of Beaulieu as one of his 21 Devon holdings, but all held as a tenant-in-chief of the king, not from Baldwin the Sheriff. This manor was held before the Norman conquest by Wolfred, whilst the Beaumont manor of Shirwell was held previously by Brickmer. It may be that the Beaumont part was Youlston, whilst the remnant of today's parish was held by de Beaulieu, whose share was in that case certainly acquired by the Beaumont family at an early time. As we move forward, let's uncover the untold stories and fascinating intricacies of Beaumont of Devon. The descent of Beaumont of Youlston, Shirwell, is given in the Herald's Visitation of Devon as follows: Sir Richard de Beaumont, 13th century. The earliest positively identifiable descendant of the Domesday tenant Robert de Beaumont was the 13th Sir Richard Beaumont, whose family had long been seated at the capital estate of Youlston within the Manor of Shirwell. His eldest son and heir was Philip Beaumont, died c. 1272, of Youlston, and his younger son was William Beaumont, called in the Herald's Visitation of Devon of Sir Bricket, to whom he granted the manor of Loxhaw. Sir Bricket appears to survive today as an estate Cales Shepscott, about 3 miles south of Youlston, and 7 miles southwest of Loxhaw Church, anciently known as Shadescote et al. and this branch of the family eventually inherited Shirwell also, on the failure of the senior male line. Philip Beaumont died c. 1272, eldest son and heir of Youlston, married Ermingdard Punchardin, daughter and co-heiress of Sir John Punchardin of Henton Punchardin in Devon. This family were listed in Domesday Book as de Punchardin holding Hantone, also as tenants of Baldwin the sheriff. Sir John Beaumont died 1330, eldest son and heir of Youlston, MP for Devon in 1326, who married Alice Scudamore. John Beaumont, son and heir, who married Alice, of unknown family. William Beaumont, only son and heir, who died childless, leaving his sister Joan Beaumont as his heiress. Joan Beaumont's sister was the wife of Sir James Chudleigh. She too died without children, and the Beaumont estates, now enlarged by the addition of the Punchardin lands, passed to her cousin John Beaumont, died of Sepscott. John Beaumont died of Sepscott, cousin, was a grandson of William Beaumont, who had been granted Loxhaw by his father Sir Richard Beaumont, and son of Richard Beaumont. John Beaumont married Joan Crothan or Crostone, the heiress of her grandfather Sir Robert Stocky, MP in 1318. He purchased the North Devon Manor of Parkham. His daughter Catherine Beaumont died 1435, married Sir Hugh Luttrell, feudal baron of Dunster Castle in Somerset. Alabaster effigies survive in Dunster Church of Hugh Luttrell and his wife Catherine Beaumont, badly mutilated. The arms of Beaumont Berry of 6 bear and gulls appear in Dunster Church and on the Luttrell table carpet, now in the collection of the Burrell Collection in Glasgow. Also on the sculptured stone heraldic panel, erected by Sir Hugh Luttrell, died 1521 above the western arch of the gatehouse to Dunster Castle. William Beaumont, son and heir, was Sheriff of Devon in 1399, and held the castle and borough Barnstaple. He further increased the family's estates by marrying Isabel Willington, daughter of Sir John Willington of Umberleigh, and co-heiress of her brother John Willington, died 1396. The effigies of a Willington knight beside his lady existed in Umberleigh Chapel prior to their removal to Atherton Church in about 1820, where they are visible today. Sir Thomas Beaumont, son and heir, born at the Willington Manor of Yacht in Gloucestershire. He married twice, the offspring of which two marriages became successively heirs to his estates, in a complex series of inheritances. Firstly, he married Philippa Dynham, daughter of Sir John Dynham and aunt to John Dynham, 1st Baron Dynham, died 1501, by whom he had 3 sons and 2 daughters. From these children descended 2 important parallel lines, firstly an adulterous line of the Bodrigan family which adopted the name Beaumont and which inherited the Beaumont Manor of Gettisham, and secondly the later very influential Barset family which inherited the Beaumont former Willington Manor of Umberleigh, which became their early seat, and the Beaumont former Pontdecharden Manor of Henton Punchardin, which became their later seat. Secondly, Sir Thomas Beaumont married Alice Stutely, daughter of Hugh Stutely of Arthurton, Devon, by whom he had a further 3 sons, from one of whom was descended the Chichester family of Raleigh, which inherited the Domesday Book Beaumont manors of Shirwell and Loxhaw, and which moved its seat from Raleigh to Youlston in the late 17th century. With the foundation laid, let's embark on a journey into descent from Sir Thomas Beaumont, died 1450. Descent from Sir Thomas Beaumont died. Firstly, he married Philippa Dynham, daughter of Sir John Dinham of Kingswell and aunt to John Dynham, 1st Baron Dynham, by whom he had 3 sons and 2 daughters. Richard Beaumont, his eldest son, who died childless before his father. William Beaumont, 2nd son, who married Joan Courtney, said to have been a daughter of his contemporary Sir William Courtney of Pagram, more probably of the latter's father Sir Philip Courtney. The marriage was childless, but Joan had an extramarital affair with Sir Henry Bodrigan of Cornwall, whom she later married after her first husband's death. A son was born to Joan named John Bodrigan, who claimed to have been the son of William Beaumont, and after a lengthy legal case was granted the subsidiary Beaumont Manor of Gettisham and changed his family name to Beaumont. The family continued several generations at Gettisham. Philip Beaumont, 3rd son, MP in 1467 and Sheriff of Devon in 1469. He married Blanche Borgia, died 1483, of whom a stone effigy exists in Shirwell Church, daughter of William Borgia, 9th Baron Fitzrin, feudal Baron of Bampton in Devon. She survived her first husband and married secondly Bartholomew Street Ledger of Kent. The marriage was childless, and Philip bequeathed his estates in two directions. Firstly, to his nephew Sir John I Bassett of Whitechapel in Devon, the son of his sister Joan Beaumont, who had married John I Bassett of Whitechapel and of Teddy in Cornwall, Sheriff of Cornwall in 1449. The Bassetts received from this bequest the manors of Umberleigh and Henton Punchardin. The other part of Philip Beaumont's bequest went to his half-brother Thomas Beaumont, died c. Bella. Secondly, Sir Thomas Beaumont married Alice Stuteley, daughter of Hugh Stuteley of Arferton, Devon, by whom he had 3 further sons. Thomas Beaumont died, 4th son, who married Matthew of unrecorded family, and had a son John Beaumont who predeceased his father. Thomas's heir was his younger brother Hugh Beaumont c. 1457-1507. Hugh Beaumont c. 1457-1507, 5th son, who married the Massini Wise, daughter and heiress of Oliver Wise of Ford House and Wombwell Court, Devon. Hugh was a co-heir of his half-brother Philip Beaumont, died 1473, and his own heir was his daughter Margaret or Maud Beaumont, who married John Chichester 1472 of Raleigh. Thus the manors of Shirwell and Loxwell descended to the Chichester family. John Beaumont died 1513, 6th son, a priest who died unmarried and childless. I hope you learned something new today. Let me know what you found most interesting in the comments below.